I say on a filmmaking level, this might be better than Hoppy.
Okay. Hey,
I think I mean, blame you. On both levels, it's better on It's better than Barbie. And I at this moment, on both levels, for me.
Welcome everybody back for another episode of Pizza Time. We are here, gonna be doing our review of Rani Kii Prem Kahani.
Yeah, damn, that was really good.
I really got it down. I know. Hey, much like Rocky, I'm gonna be the arrogant prick, taking taking all that credit for saying that right, but only because you guys were kind of gassing me up in the reaction video there. Thank you very much for that. It's gonna happen only once, I promise you. But yeah, I'm Ed. That's Alex. We are here to review this movie today. Alex, how you doing, man?
Doing well. I'm very excited to talk about this movie, especially because some of our commenters have said, have said an opinion that we'll have on the movie that it's So I wonder if we'll agree with them or not.
Really quickly, because you brought that up, the top comment at the moment for our reaction video states. And well, it's not the top comment, but it's the first one I see every time I come in. I don't know why. Excuse me. But it's from Silver Hall. Silver Hall says, "This movie is not for you guys. It won't be to your taste." Ooh, wow, what a statement to make.
Where should we start? Should we start there?
Well, maybe we should start then with our review of this
general reaction.
Amazing fucking movie. I think so.
So good.
It's so fucking good.
So good.
It's so fucking good. I had such a great time, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say straight up. I'm not even gonna get any. I'm gonna part the clouds here. I think it's one of the best rom-coms I've ever seen. Straight up, I think it's one of the best rom-coms I've ever seen. It's easily the best rom-com I've seen. I don't know, past 15 years, 20 years at least. I can't remember the last time I reacted. I had such a strong reaction to a rom-com like this, and it's because I would actually consider this like I texted you. I was like, I think this, to me, it feels like a rom-com epic. It's just rom-com shouldn't have no business being this dense, this long, this funny, this heartfelt. I was crying. I was laughing. In some parts, I was laughing and crying at the same time. You know how hard that is to do? Do you know how difficult that is to get an audience member to laugh and cry, like being confused at the same time of what emotion you're emitting? It's fantastic. I adore this movie. In a year where I thought I would, like, Barbie would be the thing that I would adore, I adore this film even more than Barbie.
You adore this more than Barbie?
I think so. I mean,
I wasn't expecting that.
I love it. I love it because it also had some some thematical political things that were it was trying to get into. It's kind of similar to Barbie in a sense in that way, and
it's much more clear than Barbie, I would say.
It's much more clear. But this film is incredible. I cannot wait to get into the details. But before that, what did you think?
As I said before, I completely agree with you. I thought this movie was great. This is the best. I'm gonna say this is the best time I've had in the theaters all year.
Yeah,
the theater was packed to the brim. Everybody was laughing. I won't lie to you. I'm sure there's some jokes that went over my head, but even I was laughing at them because the whole theater was laughing. So maybe it was the theater experience that helped elevate this movie, but it is so good. I was hooked from, I don't know, the first damn scene, and then as soon as Rocky is introduced and he gets his big dance number, I was like, I'm in for this. This is really fun. Good. And then it just it turns the comedy up to 11, and it just you're laughing so hard at things. Rocky says the funniest things. It's Ranveer Singh who plays him. We haven't seen any of his other movies yet.
No,
but Ranveer Singh plays Rocky, and he is hilarious. He's this flamboyant playboy, I think is a way to put it. And everything works. He's also an idiot. Switch. Yeah, he's so funny. There's just so many heartwarming moments with him because he's not yet. Yeah, he's dumb, but he's trying his best, and sometimes that should be accepted. He's trying his best to be a good person, trying his best to be decent. Go ahead.
The greatest part about his character is that he is meant to be a caricature of the modern male like that. However, it never forgets that to make him a human, that every scene where he's being ridiculous, he's equally he has a moment where you can see he's a human. He's thinking and he feels. And it's fantastic because you could easily take that character and just run away with that caricature just for the sake of entertainment. But it doesn't. It does that for all the characters. They're all human at the end of the day, as funny as they are, and ridiculous and dysfunctional and whatever. They're all human, and that's sort of really what's great about the film.
So, like, to wrap up initial thoughts, I loved it. I haven't even mentioned Rani. She's also fantastic. The side characters, every other character has their moment of like coming to learn things and coming into themselves. You know, What Chumka might be my new favorite song. I've heard that was that was hilarious. That whole scene was great.
All the songs are great.
All the songs are fantastic.
All the music montages are top tier shit. I mean, just all around.
Insanely good. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic, and I completely agree. It is the best rom-com that it's the best rom-com I've seen in, I would say, 15 years at least. I can't remember like loving a rom-com as much as this one. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people really loved Crazy Rich Asians. I did not like that film at all. I really didn't enjoy it as much as other people did.
As the young people say, it was very mid.
It's
not bad. It just wasn't like, oh wow,
it didn't deserve the hype it got. But this does, and this is so good. It's so funny. There's like, I texted Ed afterward. I understood why you cried. I didn't, but there are very, very, very sweet moments and poignant moments. And let's get into it.
Okay. Let's get into it. Well, first of all, I'm going to start off with cons that I had with the film. Okay. Because I had none. It's completely empty for me. I don't have any from beginning to end. I just think it's just top tier. You throw any asset at me, I won't have a problem with it. I already know. So if that's why I want to start there, because I have none. I'm just gonna basically barf positivity at this for this whole episode. So did you have any negatives for the movie at all?
I did not. No, I don't have.
Great.
Any
That's why I started with this.
Yeah, I don't have any. Like, I have no nitpicks really. I didn't really mind the length. It didn't get to me. I don't know if I just enjoyed it so much that the length really didn't bug me. Or maybe we're just coming into our own with these Indian films, and we've accepted they're all going to be over 2.5 hours. So we know what to expect, but the length didn't bug me at all.
Yeah.
No characters. I think every character got their moment, so nothing really bugged me. No one was sidelined. Yeah, I got nothing.
It sounds like the perfect rom-com.
It is.
I hate throwing out words like perfect and masterpiece, but I don't know. Maybe by the end of this review, we might get there. But so since we have no cons for the film, let's just fucking love this film to death. So one of the biggest pros for me,
sure,
so many, but I have to. One of the greatest things about the movie is Rocky and Rani, and what I mean by that is the two performances by the main leads.
Yeah,
their chemistry. I don't know if I'm trying to. My mind is trying to think of two better duo leads that I've seen in the again, I don't even know how long. Their chemistry is astronomical. Individually and together. Anytime, I don't care who's on screen, as long as one of them's on screen, I'm having the best time of my life. And I mean, and that's hard for Rani, especially because when you have Rocky, who's this is this flamboyant, easy to laugh at, easy laughs guy, and he gets some of the funniest shit, and he's the loose guy, he's the loose dude. You know, he's the guy at the party. He's that guy at the party. And Rani is a bit supposed to be diametrically opposed to him, and yet Rani, in performance and in everything, matches up to him. Yeah, I want them on screen, like either one of them on screen at all times. It's crazy, the chemistry. Put them in. They're like the Ryan Gosling and fucking Emma Stone of India, as far as I'm concerned. They should be India's sweethearts. Yeah, they're so disgustingly irresistible. So that's where I want to start, is those two. They nailed it. They nailed it with those two.
Yeah, I would completely. And you're talking about Ranveer Singh and Alia. Alia Bhatt. By the way, both are married to other superstars we loved. Alia's, I guess, married to Ranbir, who we adore.
Yes,
and then Ranveer is married to Deepika, who I adore. I think she's great.
They're great.
Yeah, I think they're fantastic. So it's pretty funny that, but I completely agree. Anytime Rocky's on screen, especially like before the intermission hits and honestly after the intermission, you can't help but laugh and smile because he has so many great lines. We'll go keto, no Cheeto. Like he says the funniest thing.
Most ridiculous.
It's just so bad. It's so funny. It's so charming. Everything he does is hilarious.
I love the fact he has a hard time speaking English, and this is a fantastic detail. I don't know if you caught this, but the captions match how he says saying it. In its spelling. It's so freaking funny. The fact they went that extra detail is phenomenal. I can't just tell you how much. I thought they were mistakes at first, and I was like, oh no. They're spelling it the way he's saying it. Yeah, it's so great. Just hello, Hallo. I was like, that's so great. Just to hit it home, just exaggerate the shit out of it, and it makes it that much funnier.
Yeah, so good note about the captions. Yeah, I wouldn't have mentioned that. I completely forgot. But you get sucked into Rocky's story and Rocky and Ronnie's love story because they connect the two, their grandparents.
What a brilliant choice.
And that love starts their love. And it's really, really cute and charming. And like you said, disgustingly irresistible. And then for Ronnie, like she starts off kind of hard and shelled, and he's so quick to break through the hard shell, the hard exterior, that even in moments when you're like frustrated with her, when she's like, it's just a fling, you're like, that's annoying, but I'm not annoyed with you because I get it. You want to be this independent woman that you don't want to be part of this guy who has a different family than yours. And I think that's like a great thing because like even you're annoyed, but you're not sick of the character. Like I get why you're making the decision.
Do you know why? Do you know why that works? Because she's not. They make it very clear that though she is strong, that she is trying to be boss bitch. She is not perfect. And the moment you realize that is amazing because she creates a double standard. She looks down Rocky's shirt. The first thing she notices and is oogling at is his open shirt.
Brilliant! Yes.
And it's hypocritical because she just harpooned that guy. I forget, is a politician, whatever, on her show.
Yes,
for objectifying women. She just did that to him. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, okay. All right.
I see where you're going with this.
Cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you're putting up front. It's clear she's putting up a front. It's not like, oh, this is who she is and she just needs to be accepted for it. No. Right. Yeah, this is who she is, but she's not perfect. And she gets it. So that's why. That's why it went down the line. It's fine because know she's not perfect. The movie knows she's not perfect.
Yeah. Dude, so everything about their characters, I think we've said perfect. It's like 75 times in the last 2 minutes. Yeah. It's perfect.
It's perfect. I don't know any other.
I have zero complaints about the characters. I have zero complaints about anything. This is our first rom-com. So I don't know if all rom-coms follow this or if something from SRK would, be better than this. But as of now, because of these two characters, it launches this into the stratosphere of rom-com epics. The first ever rom-com epic for us. I mean, all rom-coms should be like this. Have music in it. Have dance numbers. Have fun, for Christ's sake.
Have fun, man.
And then you still have the like amazing poignant moments from Rocky when he comes back and he apologizes to the family for the whole dad scene when the dad dances.
Fuck me, that whole scene, bro.
And then like he has this whole spiel like, you guys made fun of me too. You guys haven't given me a chance.
Right. See?
And he's like, I can't, nothing is fair in this world anymore.
Yeah.
Because I forget exactly what he says, but he goes, we spend so much time canceling each other that none of us can learn it.
Yes. I have so many notes on like the amount of incredible wisdom that is given to us by these characters. That's one of them. If we keep canceling each other, how can we ever learn? It's like There was somebody in my screening that not one, sorry, there was a group of people who clapped at that, and I couldn't help but clap with them. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, like, thank you, fucking finally someone has the balls to say this to an audience.
Yeah, to both sides, by the way.
To both sides.
Chill out.
It's not a right or wrong. We're all guilty of this. We're all guilty of it. Yeah. And it's incredible that they do that with this character. I love that scene. That scene, and it again, the movie does this multiple times. The screenplay is brilliant because you think these scenes are sort of set up for you to think, you may know how it might end, but typically it actually doesn't go the way you think it does. It's a very smart screenplay. You think that whole scene's going to be like shit, making sure that Rocky learns what he needed to learn from that moment. Yeah, which he does, but it doesn't forget about everyone else, including him, including that family. It rounds it all out. Yeah, it rounds it all out in every situation.
It's followed up with an even almost arguably as good scene when she says, "No, her father calls Ronnie and her and her dad are on the phone together, and she says, it's over. I can't do this. Right. Like, he laughed at you too. And the father goes, but we laughed at him. Yeah. We're not so different. Right. We didn't give him a chance. We made fun of him. We judged him. So no, you need to stay and you need to see this out. And I was like, God, that's so good.
It's just hitting all the right buttons.
Everybody should be called out. Not 100%. Just left, right, center. Doesn't matter. No one is perfect in this world. And that's why I think we like this movie so much.
I'll one up you on that even more, because it's basically like that whole end sequence is just like thematic beauty, one after the other. It's literally just wrapping cutting every single thread that they lift up. The scene before that's fantastic, where it's just after the dance scene. Mm-hmm. And the mother and the grandma and the father of Rocky are just vehemently walk out, right? Because they're so pissed off that Rocky's like essentially assimilated to, the other family, that he's accepted by this other family that they don't love.
That's a scene that follows, not before.
Is that the scene that?
Yeah, because remember, it's that big dance scene where he accepts.
Yeah, but when that whole thing afterwards, like
we're talking about two different fights.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the fight where Rocky is finally comes to the family and says, "You've made fun of me."
No, I remember that. Yeah, because that's
because that's after the dance. That's after the dad dance, right? Yeah.
Oh.
The dad single dance, and then there was the dance where they did it together, where he's assimilated. That's the big fight.
You were 100%. I'm so sorry. Yes, I forgot that there's two dance numbers with the dad. Yeah. The one I'm talking about is the second time. Yeah, with Rocky near the very end. Okay, sorry. It's not before. It's after. It's a great scene.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, just to be clear. Thank you. After the red ballroom, that whole thing.
Yeah, that massive, that amazing dance.
Fucking amazing. But that whole scene where Rocky needs to go and talk to his parents and grandma, and you think that whole scene's about Rocky sticking it to them and ripping them a whole new asshole, which half happens until you realize that Ronnie interjects the scene.
Yeah.
And you have a moment that you think that Ronnie's there to rip them a new asshole and she's going to have her moment. No. Yeah. Like she's the one who gets who it becomes about, and she gets stepped down the rung because she disrespects them, and Rocky makes sure that's like, he has some integrity, and he makes sure that she knows that. Yeah. It's like this beautiful sort of like how problems should be dealt with. No one's right, and when someone thinks that they can yell and just be above everyone because they have a stronger personality, they should be checked too. Just because you're the loudest person in the room doesn't make you the most right. Doesn't give you the right to be either. So it's moments like that that's just like the screenplay is just sizzling with those. You can't. Yeah. It's consistently shifting and changing perspectives and changing the way you're seeing, the arguments. It's just fantastic. You do not see that in most movies in general.
Right. And it's followed up. She goes home after they call it off. It's followed up by two incredible scenes where she goes home and she's just looking for permission to end it. She says, I'm done with this. I don't want to be with him anymore. It's done. It's over. You see how he treated me. And everyone in the family is going, you were wrong. You were wrong. You raised your hand to his father. Right. You don't do that. And then she goes to her grandma for approval. And her grandma says, no, you don't do that. And then she says this terrible thing to her grandma. Said, what would you know? You cheated.
Oh my God.
And then you're just like, ooh.
Yeah, there was an audible like, oh.
Yeah, grandma stands up to her and says, "Yeah, I cheated. I cheated on a man who beat me for years.
Yeah, you fucking
who beat your father for years. That's why.
Yeah.
You don't know everything, kid.
Yeah.
You think you do, but you don't. You still have to learn. You know, not your way isn't the only way to do things in life. And like you just said, you know, and then we get that powerful scene. And then we follow it up with the scene at Rocky's house where he stops his father from hitting his mother. Yeah. He finally stands up to his dad. He finally gets the courage, because of Ronnie, to stand up to his dad and to say, no, you don't hit my mom anymore. You don't touch my mom. You leave them out of this.
Right.
You know, and he still says, and yet I'm still here breaking up with this girl out of respect because I do still have integrity. And then, unfortunately, the grandfather dies. And
then the grandfather dies. And it's just like, oh, my God, like this roller coaster. It's a phenomenal screenplay. Yeah. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's pitch perfect. It's just
there's just like moments that just like, I'm going to punch you in the gut. And then I'm going to fucking hit you with an uppercut. And then I'm going to punch you in the gut again. Yeah. And then I'm going to hit you with an uppercut. And then I'm going to give you a hug.
But it makes complete narrative sense because everyone in the room is who you've been following this whole time. And you care about everybody in there. You care about all their individual stories. And by the way, I mean, it's called Rocky and Ronnie, but the movie does a brilliant job of spreading out its focus to all the characters. I mean, let's go over that. Who's your favorite, like, non-Rocky or Ronnie character? Who's like your, the supporting character favorites?
You know, I think my favorite supporting character would probably be, I have two: Ronnie's mom and Rocky's mom.
The moms
I thought were hilarious. Like when she comes out and she's singing and then she pulls out the cake, Rocky's mom, I thought that whole scene was great. And like, it was nice to see that she gave her confidence. Yeah. And then she has this amazing, powerful moment where she gets to tell the dad, you don't get to apologize to me anymore.
Right.
It's too late. You don't get to do that.
Yeah. Because in any other movie, that would be the moment they reconcile and that she gives him, the satisfaction that he needs. Right. And it's like, no. And even after that, it's not clear whether or not she really forgives him. And that's fine.
Yeah.
They'll work it out maybe, but she doesn't give him that. And I love that. That's so good.
Yeah. And then I love Ronnie's mom equally as much because she's just over the top, has to use big words. She kind of reminded me of my sister at times. My sister will use like big words that I don't think she knows the definition to from time to time when she's talking to people. And she puts on this facade of like she loves art and I'm shit. And I get mad at her. I'm like, stop. Be you. Yeah. Just be you. You are enough. Okay. Chill out. And I get angry when my sister does that because I think it's annoying. But yeah, like that, her relationship with Rocky was hilarious because she's able to teach Rocky things. And then Rocky's able to equally learn so much from, the mom is able to learn so much from Rocky. Right. And, after being insanely judgmental toward him.
Right.
And she finally is able to learn something and learn that I was wrong about it. Rocky's trying hard here and I'm not equally trying.
No.
And like, I think those are my two favorite side characters.
Yeah, I would agree. Mine was the mothers in general. They're clearly sort of really the anchor for the whole families. They make that very clear and they had to be perfect and they're both fantastic. Yes. But the second in line for me besides Ronnie's mom would be Ronnie's father, just because he gets that his whole story of being a dancer that dances in this style that is, I guess you traditionally feminine. I guess you'd say, well, I forget the style of the dance. I'm sorry, but Kathak is it? Kathak dancing, Kathak. Yeah. And his resilience in having, he's a character who did follow his dream. That's what I love about it. Is that he's one of the characters who actually stood up for himself early on versus everyone else. And he's actually but he doesn't get the satisfaction of even reaping the benefits because it's such a taboo thing. And that's a part of the story that, that tackles that too, is that even if you do stand up for yourself, it's still hard. You're still going to get made fun of. You're not going to get everything. And again, of course, it leads to that beautiful scene. I guess probably one of the best scenes in the movie is that sort of reconciliation he gets with Rocky, and
that's the best scene in the movie.
I think it's the best scene in the movie. Yeah,
that's my favorite scene
amongst plenty of incredible scenes. That's probably the best scene too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that he's probably one of my favorite for sure. Okay, so what else should we talk about? I mean, there's so much to talk about. Let's talk about.
You got it right.
Is it Catholic? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I want to talk really quickly about just the set design and the cinematography.
Go ahead.
Again, this movie is just like filled with. It just shouldn't be this good.
Yeah.
Like none of the stuff should come together this well in a rom-com. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when's the last time you mentioned that for a romantic comedy? You know, and it's top tier.
Good. We watched Bahubali 2, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about the cinematography and the set design and how amazing it was before this, and we reacted to it and all that. And I think it's equally as good as in this, which is something like that you just don't expect with the rom-com. And like that's the best way I can like describe it. Like 100%. When care is taken into set design and production design and creative direction, I said it with Barbie. Barbie elevates up into a different realm of a movie because they took the time with the creative direction, because they took the time with everything and the cinematography. And for this film, the last like rom-com I saw that I was like, oh, well, that's actually nice, epic design was Crazy Rich Asians. I said, that's the only thing I liked about that movie.
Yeah.
Was that they were able to do that. But like, I think every film, rom-com or not, should be handled with this sort of care in terms of production and creative direction and art direction. Because when you do that, you go sit in a movie theater for 2-3 hours and you watch it, you just go, damn, that was worth it. Because even if I didn't like the movie, there was still so much beautiful things to look at. And I'm not talking just about the sets, the amazing sets. I'm also talking about like Rocky's flamboyant wardrobe.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about the color correction of the scene when they're up in Kashmir.
Yes.
And, dude, like she's in this like blue and yellow.
Yes.
Like I don't know what that's called. I'm sorry. But
garb.
The whole the garb, but it's gorgeous thing, right? And it's
when she has that music number she has where she's wanting to reconcile with Rocky and she's up in the mountains and in the snow. It's beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah. I could not believe. I was like, wow, am I really like oogling at the camera work and set design on a rom-com right now? Like this is insane. It just it shouldn't go this hard, and it's going full steam ahead, more so than even regular, like, you know. Incredible.
Like it's better than like some of the it's definitely better than any production design we've gotten in any Marvel movie in the past 2 to 3 years. Hands down. Like that's the level this is at.
Not even close.
It's so like it's just like there's little details. I don't know. Like Rocky is always matching his car, if you notice.
No,
like when he's wearing he's in a green suit, he has a green Range Rover. Yeah. Like he's always matching his car. Like there's so many little details that like make this so fucking nice and
there's
fun
so much
and
detail
great to watch that it's just like, damn, that's so good.
It's so much detail. Yeah. I want to watch this movie again just to kind of like look around and see like what other things I kind of missed, you know.
Yeah. And again, we're 3 weeks into this movie being released. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, right?
2.5. Yeah, 3. Yeah. Around that time.
They added showings in the theater I went to go see it at.
Wow.
There was 2 showings. They added 2 more. Today there's 5 showings. Sorry.
Wow.
So like clearly people are excited to see it, you know? And when we said, by the way, when we said it's doing Patton numbers, it's doing Patton numbers in America for us, is what we're saying. Like there is more people. We saw Patton opening week. Our theaters were not as packed as they are 3 weeks after this film. So that's what we mean. But yeah, dude.
And for good reason. I mean, rom-coms typically should be more...
They should have more legs.
Open, and legs to like an action film, you know.
Yeah. Action film, go see it quick, done.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But this should have a wider audience for it. And I can't... Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to go check my apps to see if like they've added more show times. Because, you know... Yeah, it's not huge. It's not like TMNT that's opening up this weekend or Meg. Even Meg 2 has more screens.
Yeah, but somehow, some way, the Meg 2 with bad reviews is going to make like $30 million.
Yeah, whatever.
I can't believe it.
Well, I'd rather give it to this movie because like this is easily the best movie that's out in theaters right now.
Oh,
not even close. It's like not even close.
You think it's better than Op?
Huh?
You think it's better than Op?
I mean,
I do. I think it's better than Op.
They're two different movies. It's the same thing with Barbie and Oppie, you know?
I'm not asking that. I'm asking, do you think it's better than Op? I know.
I would rather, if Oppenheimer was here at a theater and then a Rocky was here, I would probably walk into Rocky. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's so 100%. Fun.
It's meant to give you a better feeling. That's why. If I want to be depressed, I
felt a little sick after Op. I was like,
what I want to have existential dread. Yeah, I will go watch Oppie. Of course, it's a beautiful film, but Rocky is just a good time, and it's also
the course
an incredible film. Yeah, no, I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, even Barbie, I currently have higher rated than even Oppie, and at this point, Rocky.
Oh, I'd see this.
I don't know, man. Again, it's not. It's like it's a subjective thing. There's a filmmaking level. There's an enjoyment level, you know, and it's like it's not arguable to say that obviously Oppie on a filmmaking level is just fucking aeons beyond anything. It's made by one of the masters of today. But when you talk about,
I say on a filmmaking level, this might be better.
Might even be better. Okay. Hey,
I think on both levels, it's better on It's better than Barbie. And I at this moment on both levels, for me, it's better than Op.
Because it's fun. It's an interesting talk, right? Because it's a matter of like, what do you consider it? And it's like at the end of the day, it's like, well, when you talk about a movie that efficiently gets like the scenes that. If the scenes get you to feel what it wants you to feel, and all the movies do that, but if you want to talk consistency, arguably, yeah, Rocky, and I would say personally, Barbie does it better than Oppie. So it's really just
I probably agree with that.
It's a subjective, it's subjective, but
yeah.
I mean, hey,
dude, it was amazing. This film was amazing.
It's incredible. It's a fucking.
I texted you after. I'm bumping that soundtrack all the way home.
Let's talk about the soundtrack. Let's talk about some of the musical numbers, which is there's a lot in this one. And usually, to be honest with you, I get don't hate me for this in the audience, but I typically get pretty sick of them in most of the movies after like the second one. If there's usually I expect two. If there's a third or fourth in any of these other movies so far, I'm like,
I mean,
okay.
For me,
it's fun, but
I was desperately needing a movie, an Indian movie like this, because I really, really, really missed some of the fun dance sequences. You know, like the dance sequences we got in RRR and the dance sequences we got in Pathaan and War. You know, I was missing those dance sequences, like those breaks to really bring up the energy in the film. And I was like, God, I really want one. And this gave it. I enjoyed all of them.
Well, here's the difference. I did too. That's what I'm saying. So my whole thing is that largely I feel like in those other movies, they feel like they need to be like they're forced in there. They're not necessary to the narrative.
I would say
it's just kind of there. This movie, every time there's a musical number, narratively driven, and just obviously the production level on them is fucking insane. Yeah. So both narratively and on just an entertainment level, it hit it out of the park. And so that's what I want more so if I'm going to have a musical number in a movie is like, it has to make sense. I don't want it to just be a trope here. Yeah, it's a trope, but it feels necessary. It feels when you talk hills and valleys in a movie screenplay, this felt perfect. Every time it came on, I was like, yep, this is a great time to take a little bit of rest and to just dance and have some great music. And all the music here is fantastic. What's your favorite musical piece?
What, Chumka? It's got to be.
I
mean, like that whole scene when they show up and you got the jealous kind of fake boyfriend there, and they kind of take him out. And
I forgot about that guy. Showman.
Even we're getting his name wrong.
Oh yeah, Showman. God, that.
By the way, that. Go ahead. No, that whole dynamic is
that whole dynamic's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's great.
I love Showman because he's not a pushover. Like he's pushed over. Yeah. But he's not a pushover. He always wants to be there. Like he has a bit of vigor for it. He's defending Ronnie against Rocky. He can't physically do it, and there's no way he can. Like Rocky just surmounts him in every possible way, but he's there. Like you see he has he has it in him to do it. I love that.
I respect his.
I respect him.
I respect his effort, his persistence.
I agree.
Even in the elevator scene where he said, "Well, one day I will call her ma," and Rocky's there when they open, and he goes,
"Yeah." And they're like both self-aware of each other, like they're in on it. It's almost like it's like a brother thing, right? Like, there's no hate between them, and I love that. It gets it so right. The dynamics of the characters in this.
I mean, there's that
whole thing is just so
really
fantastic.
Funny scene where he's doing a little singing at that like culture club meeting they have, and then Rocky kind of gives him a hug, and he finally embraces him. He lays his head into Rocky finally.
Yeah. Exactly. Like everyone gets. It's all love, man. It's all about coming together. That's what I really love about this movie. But I couldn't agree with you more about that scene being probably the best one. But in terms of the musical numbers, but I equally love the Red Room scene. You know, that's a great scene. The first one
off the movie.
The one that kicks off the movie. The colors in that scene, dude. It's the production is crazy. Just the fidelity of the shots and the lighting is just like incredible. Yeah, and I evenly liked the smaller numbers. I love that it had smaller musical numbers, like the one in the when they're eating cake with the Ronnie and the mother and the sister. That's all great. I love the smaller one the one with where she's daydreaming a little bit and she's just kind of going through her work, and I love all that because it's all just narratively tied together really well, and it fits, and it's just
about pissed myself when the grandfather started singing.
I
thought that was the funniest thing. I was dying because he was just all of a sudden out of his chair, and I was like, what the fuck? But the whole theater was laughing with me. So
and that whole dynamic again, the dynamics of the characters are so good. Like the fact that the grandmother has to deal with her sick husband with his essentially the love of his life coming back so late, and she has to watch that shit. And it's like, oh man, but she deserves it in a way. No, I love it.
In a way, she 100% deserved it. Yeah,
it's just you don't see that. I love that dynamic. You feel for both of them, but you also know like, this is how it should be. That played out right to everyone's. Like the fact that it tries to deal with like fat shaming too with the sister. It deals with that a little bit, and like how they're trying to marry her off.
Scenes were fucking hilarious. Every time she tried to get married off was so funny.
And she's just like this naughty. I love that. I love that she's like this, chubby. And doesn't care about her weight, and she's also kind of sexual. Like, that's just not something you see often.
Right.
And I love that because it's like, fat shaming right now is like such a huge deal because there's a whole thing about fat.
The fuck out.
Yeah. Well, and there's a whole there's a whole thing with like, like Lizzo and like everyone. There's fat glorification and whatever, but it doesn't deal with it in that way.
Right.
It gives this person who's heavy that she's beautiful and she can do whatever the fuck she wants and nobody fucking think twice about her. But also it doesn't say that you should be fat. It's not saying like you should be fat.
Live your life.
Live your life the way you want to. Don't give a fuck about anyone else. But you also don't have. But also be like do your best to just be healthy and just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
it really handles like a lot of modern topics that are very hot button in a way that it really is trying to bring people together instead of like making a point of whatever side needs to be there.
Like it's exactly the way you said that, like going back to Rocky's whole speech, I can't say black anymore, and I understand that what my grandma said was kind of racist, and now but like this is also not racist, and like that's like this, and like and like he keeps going on like basically I think how normal people, most people in the world feel about it. 100%. They're just like, I can't say this anymore because it's bad, but I can't say that anymore because that's bad now too. Like, where does it end? And like that whole scene that's why it's my favorite scene in the movie, because like you 100%. Just said, it doesn't shy away from tackling them, but it does it in such a nice and what I would say is digestible and understandable way for the entire 100%. Audience to get it. Yes. Like, and like, it doesn't matter what side you lie on or whatever, you understand that.
Yes. Everyone understands what he's talking about.
And that's the point. Like, if you understand that, then you realize we're all not so different after all.
Correct.
So like,
correct.
That's why I really loved that.
It's an incredible scene. I think it's important. I think it's one of the most important things that people really should listen up to, because it's it's so true. And I loved it. Just everything about it is great. Well, let's talk a little bit about, I have a whole list of fantastic, just thematic wisdom that was dropped in this movie.
By all means, hit us with it.
You know, from politics to just family. You know, one of the first ones that really stuck out to me was when who says this? Is the grandma? She's like, you know, I'm paraphrasing. You have your hands on the wheel. She's talking to Ronnie. You have your hands on the wheel, but the family's the backseat driver. Yeah. And as much as nobody wants to hear that, that's forever and always going to be the truth. Yeah. You can be individualistic. That's fine. No one's gonna. But you're not alone. Like, you can be yourself, but also you're not alone. You'll always have a family, people who care about you, and who won't agree with everything you say. And you are inevitably going to also be affected by that, and that's okay. You should be. People need to call you out on your shit. That's healthy. Yeah. It's healthy to be called out on your shit, regardless of the fact that you are capable and that you have the right answers to everything. Whatever you want to be, queen bee. You want to be whatever you want. You want to be a king. You know, there's that. This one I thought was really powerful. This is the one where they're in the kitchen and Ronnie's speaking to Rocky's mother about her being so servient to his father. And she goes, if service is only one way, it's slavery. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. What a crazy, trite, and powerful line. And like, she's not saying like literal slavery. It's a matter of, like, it's some sort of prison. If you're not getting, if it's a one-way street, you're imprisoning yourself. And anyway, it could be in work, it could be in your family, it could be with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your you know, that's just like a universal truth. That's so powerful to me. I love that line. Anyway, I have so much more. Did you have anything?
By all means, keep going. I already said some, so you keep going.
I only have two more. These are great.
Go ahead. I wasn't able to write any of them down.
No, it's all good. I just loved it because it was just so stacked with like fucking just, you know, wisdom bangers. I was like, fuck. Compromising is better than dreaming. At least you won't get disappointed. You know, and that's not like a necessarily positive note, but it's a truth. Yeah, it's just the truth. I love that. And I think Rocky's mom says that. And then this one's a very small one too. It's like, I think Rocky says this. No. Ronnie's father says this. Talent has no gender. Simple. Yes. Talent has no gender. Yeah. I mean, basically anything shouldn't really have a gender. That's like the point, right? Yeah. It's like, I just love it. It just was just such the screenplay is fantastic. I don't know what else to say. It's just so good, man. It's just so good across the board. Yeah. What else is there? I mean, I think we hit a lot. What else did you have to?
I got nothing else, man. I've said it 100 times over. It's you know, it's just such a fucking really, really, really good movie.
It really is.
I just don't really know what else to say.
Is it climbing your list of Indian movies we've watched so far?
It's high on the list. Like, I'm having trouble. I think it might launch into my top 3 at the moment.
I know. I'm having trouble because I'm like,
just because I'm like, the enjoyment level of watching this in a theater. There was a couple of cheers in the movie, by the way. I want to mention the biggest cheer.
We can talk about that really quick. I had a few too. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you're gonna laugh because it wasn't during the movie. It was the Jawan trailer that was the biggest cheer. As soon as SRK, like it's Shah Khan, and then like there was just an audible like I was like, oh,
it's just a frat rail.
Oh fuck. We excited about.
I'm learning.
We excited about Jawan, eh?
It's SRK, man. It's SRK.
Anyway, there were a couple cheers in the movie.
I didn't get the Jawan.
When What Chumka came on, there was a big cheer. I don't know if do they release the songs early?
I mean the movie.
So
that's a good question, actually.
Like, no, I'm like, it seems like it was like a popular song, so there was
a big
this cheer for that, which was cool.
After the Jailer reaction trailer we did, I went to look for the songs that were in the trailer because I fucking love them so much.
Did you?
And they're out. So
wait, is the song from that trailer out?
Yeah, go look up. There's a trailer soundtrack on Spotify. You can.
Fucking hell.
I know. I was thinking all that. I was like, I'll just fucking hyping myself up the whole day with that song.
That's right. We'll be watching that this week, by the way.
Which again,
but
so
you might be waiting a while to see that.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we got a lot of content and we can't overstack it.
Yeah, no, it's exciting stuff though. Yeah. But yeah, I think you can expect. I think the soundtracks typically come out sooner.
Oh, well, dope. Now I know that. That's great. Because
like
I'll be on the lookout for the Jawan sound, like music stuff.
Absolutely, 100%.
But yeah, what Shumka got a big applause.
Sure.
Then the biggest applause in the movie was actually the moment where after she, kind of like dunked on that congressman for objectifying women, like
somebody like,
and then she goes and objectifies Rocky, and people started clapping and laughing so hard.
That's so great.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest ones.
That's really they clapped at like that specific moment.
Yeah, that specific moment. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's different from my screening. But that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty funny.
Okay. Here's one where people were dying laughing, and I had no clue what the joke was. I had no clue what the reference was. Okay. But it's when Rocky is having brunch or something or breakfast with the family at the table outside in their home. Rani's family.
Yes.
And he talks about Shamita. There's a reference to, I guess, a character in a show or some sort. I don't know if you remember this.
Yes, I do remember that. Because
they're talking about
voting, right?
Yeah, voting. And he brings up Shamita in like I don't know. It's a pop culture reference, I assume. But I had no clue what that was. But I had one of the largest laughs and just like sort of like inside jokey type of feel.
Yeah.
And so anybody who can you educate me on that? I'd love to know because people lost their shit. I was like, I don't know what that is. Yeah. So, but it was a good time, but that was one of the moments where I was like, oh, well, everyone was going nuts. I was like, okay, cool.
Everybody's laughing. Huh?
And again, that's the beauty of the movie too, is that like clearly there's moments. It's very much tied to Indian culture. Like it's very much an Indian movie because a lot of the jokes, not a lot, most of the jokes actually are very evergreen. Anybody can understand them, but there were definitely a good amount of jokes where it's like, oh, that has something to do with Indian culture. And even though I didn't know specifically what that was about, the jokes are so simple. Like the jokes, the punchline of the jokes are so evergreen that you get it. Like for example, even though I didn't know who that painting was in Rani's family's room, I understood the joke.
Yes,
because I knew Rocky was dumb, so I knew who he was like praising was not who.
Yeah, was not his grandfather. Yeah.
I love that because the joke is that he's dumb. See, that's the joke.
Yeah,
but it's wrapped in such a great cultural complexity and nuance that anyone can understand that joke. So it's such a great, and the movie's riddled with them, and I love that.
So funny.
So funny. The movie's so goddamn funny, man. Yeah. Just from the little moments to every scene has like just something, that to laugh about. And it's just as we wind
down, we haven't mentioned that the director of this film directed My Name is Khan, one of Ed's most favorite films of all time.
Why did I know that?
He directed My Name is Khan. His name is where'd he go? Oh, Karan Johar.
All right, Karan Johar.
What a job. Fantastic job. Absolutely fantastic. Wrote and directed it.
I mean, obviously, it's easily now one of my favorite of all time. And again, the direction wasn't the worst thing in My Name is Khan, and it's still good, but everyone's wrong. But great, that's a fantastic. I love that he given me one of the best movies I've seen out of cinema at this point. So, all right, man. I feel like we could keep going because the movie's so dense and there's just like every scene has something to say about it. But I think we got our point across pretty clearly. I do fucking love this movie. So
for the people that thought we wouldn't like it, surprise. I guess I don't know what to tell you.
No, yeah.
In your face. No, sorry.
Switch. It's great. And please everyone watch it. If you haven't seen it, please watch this and bring your family. Like it's just it's a good time. It's a movie you need to bring people to. Enjoyed with so much people. You'll have a fucking incredible time. And I comfortable saying it's probably easily one of the best rom-coms I've ever seen. It's probably one of my new favorites of all time of anything.
It jumps up there for me for definitely one of my favorite rom-coms of all time.
It just I have nothing bad to say about it. Everything is like every little detail is like pitch perfect. There's nothing wrong.
It's very good. Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. So excited to watch again.
Yeah. Anyways, one last thing, really quick.
Sure.
Just to shout out one of our most active audience members, Abishi, who we've mentioned before already. But Abishi, what up, man? He mentioned that if we like this, he said, which is apparently a throwback to a lot of sort of older Indian film rom-coms in terms of style, I guess, or whatever. He says that he's seen it, and he says that these older films don't even come, or sorry, this movie doesn't even come close to some of the older rom-coms out there. Which, if that's true, I'm ready to fucking go. So if anybody agrees with Abishi, let us know of any rom-coms that we should see that are like this or better. I mean, because it's going to be tough.
I agree. Drop them.
So continue. Thanks, Abishi, for being so active. He's by far probably our biggest fan, or just likes us idiots. But we would encourage anybody else, if hit us up on our Instagram. Like, we love talking to you guys. We love just hearing your thoughts.
At the Pizza Time Nerdcast.
And it's, by the way, we both have access to this account, and we don't always tell who we're talking to, who's talking. So it could be me, it could be Alex. I kind of like the sort of
it's a mystery.
It's fun. But I just expect one of us to answer. It's probably Alex. But I love you guys also. All right, guys. So that's it. Like and subscribe and hit the bell for more. We're almost at that 1K, guys. Dude, we can monetize so soon. I'm so excited. I'm hoping by this week, right? Hopefully this week.
I mean, by the time they watch this, who knows when this goes up? It could be. Yeah, I mean, we still have our Bali reaction and review to post, so we might post that first, and then this. Let this have a couple more. Let a few more people see this movie.
Yes,
and then post it.
Yep. And so let's get there. We pre-thank you, and so we can keep doing this and doing more, and that's it.
That's it.
All right, guys.